This is A Better Way Financial, the podcast with financial advisors and father-son team Frank and Frankie Guida.
And I'm at the branch here with Frank and Frankie asking for their ideas on ways you can better prepare for your financial future. ABetterWayFinancial.com is where to start the conversation about your retirement savings plan. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there. Or again, it's ABetterWayFinancial.com. It's October. We were just talking baseball, getting into the postseason of things. Football season, of course, in full effect. Pumpkins everywhere. Actually, gosh, the Christmas decorations have started to become everywhere. I don't know about you.
It's already that time. We're in October now.
Do you guys go all out at your houses with the outside lights? Is there a Griswold effect?
Oh, yeah. Dad puts the lights up. He plugs in something that forecasts something onto the house and calls it a day.
There you go.
The light I use is the one that, when you're driving in, this light just goes on.
That's it.
Yep. He's got a little green light. It shows a bunch of dots on the house.
I respect it. I'm really into people that do a lot of the decorations because I love it and I celebrate it. But you do the work. Let me drive by and see all of your hard work so that I don't have to put all the effort in and then the cleanup after the holiday is over.
It's great. You get the enjoyment of seeing it, and you don't have to spend the hours and hours and hours of doing it.
Yep. So here's to all of you who like to put lights up from Halloween to Valentine's Day, inflatables galore. We toast to you because we don't want to do it ourselves. Something else that's happening this fall that a lot of people are talking about, they've been talking about it, I feel like, since this time last year. All the Fed rate cuts that we were anticipating to happen this year did not begin until recently. But the Fed did finally make a cut, and for the first time in 4 years, bigger than we anticipated. It was a half point. Morgan Stanley's Jim Caron was telling CNBC that the Fed is now in a balancing act as it continues to cut rates through next year. Here's what he said.
So if we think about this as an insurance cut, I think that's the right way to phrase this. So effectively, the Fed is taking a risk. And the risk is that if they go too fast right now, if they cut rates too quickly, they may increase inflation. But on the other side of that, the risk is that if they don't cut quickly enough, soon enough, then they risk a deterioration and potentially a recession in the economy and a rise in the unemployment rate.
Talking about risk, talking about the delicate balance, guys. At the end of the day, what's it all about? How's it going to affect me, right? When it comes to your clientele, how are they going to be affected? Is now a good time to be all in on the market? What are you telling folks?
Well, I got to tell you, Heather, I think if you're in your retirement years or approaching your retirement years, it's not a good time to be all in on the market. You have all these prognosticators, telling you, oh, the market's going to go up. Interest rates are going to go down. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. Mm-hmm. And you know what? You get just as many saying the exact opposite. Right. So you really don't know what's going to happen. So the best thing that you can do is set up your portfolio so that it can withstand whatever happens. If everything goes great, you don't really have to protect against anything. But what you do need to protect against is the market goes bad. When we look at the markets, we're looking at like from 2000 on to today. And, if you look at 2000, 2001, 2002, the market dropped 50%.
Right. And
then the market came all the way back in 2008 hit. Boom, dropped 50% again. And then the market went really, really nice until 2024, pretty much double-digit average return since 2009. But, I like to point out to folks that if they have their money in the market, they have all their money in the market, and the market goes down 50%, and they're in their retirement years, does their money go down 50%? Mm-mm. And a lot of people think, well, yeah, it does. And then you sit there and go, well, no, hold on. You put all that money there for retirement purposes to supplement your income during your retirement years. Right. So what happens is your money's going down more than 50%.
It's going down 54% or 56%, whatever the withdrawal rate is.
You're taking money out. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So your money's going down, and then the markets come back, but your money doesn't come back in the same way. It's coming back less because you're still drawing out money. Then boom, you get hit with another 50% market crash. Now what happens is you're in danger of running out of money.
We talk about the benefits of compound interest, and that's how it can make you wealthy. It's like the exact opposite of compounding on this loss, double downing on that loss.
Compound depreciation.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. So what we tell folks is you need to have safe money in your portfolio.
Right.
You need to have money that doesn't go down when the markets go down. So when the markets do go down, you can draw your income from your safe money investments instead of your market investments. That is hugely important. You don't want to sell low. Nobody wants to sell low.
And, this is something we just did just the other day. We had a couple come in. He was in his mid-70s. She was in her late 60s. And they wanted to see what was their current portfolio. Were they taking too much risk? Were they setting everything up the right way? And we were able to observe that for them and show them, hey, here is what your portfolio looks like. And I don't know if you know this, but you are in a very risky position. You're in your mid-70s and you're invested like you're in your mid-30s. So we want to make sure that you're okay with the level of risk that you're taking it. And we went over it. We said, hey, here's your current portfolio on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being no market risk, 10 being excessive risk. You're at a 7.8. So you're at a very high risk position. And you would think because you have this very high risk that you would have some outstanding returns. But since 2000, their return was only 6.5% per year on average. So not a really strong rate of return for all that risk that they were taking. And even more so than that, if the stock market crashed like it did in 2008, they would go down by 44%.
Really? And they had no idea that they had that much risk involved?
They were like, we were always invested in the market, you know, so I'm comfortable with the market. The market's going to do what it does. It's like, but you got to change that investment philosophy as we get closer to retirement.
Yeah, when we explain to them, in retirement, you're compounding the problem because, if the market does crash, they were used to market crashes, but if the market does crash, and they're taking out money, they're compounding the problem. It's even worse. So when they heard that, they perked up and they wanted to hear what our solutions were.
Got it.
Since they were comfortable with having that risk, and having a lot of money in the market, we said, okay, well, we'll keep it based on the market. We'll have the risk, but let's get a better rate of return.
Sure.
And so we set up the portfolio where only 80% was in the market. So we took 20% out of the equities and out of the market portion.
Okay.
And we're still able to get them a significantly better rate of return. So instead of around 6.5% since 2000, we're looking at closer to 9%.
Got it.
Since 2000.
Nice.
So, 2.5% more on average per year is going to make a significant difference in their retirement. And what's more is we were reducing some of that risk. So instead of that 44%, we're looking closer to 41 or 42%.
Got it.
Not taking the same level of risk when the stock market does, in fact, crash. So protecting that portfolio and getting them a rate of return that's more in line with the level of risk that they're taking.
Okay.
And we didn't stop there. We also looked at their tax situation to see, what is going on with their taxes. He was like, I've saved this money. I want to make sure that I'm protected against taxes. My current advisor doesn't look at the taxes. He doesn't show me ways that I can save money in taxes. He just kind of sets up the investments and we review it every quarter. And I said, well, let's look at your tax situation. Let's see what you're already projected to pay in taxes, because you're already in this situation where you have these required minimum distributions that you have to take out every year. Let's see what we can do to minimize your tax burden.
Okay.
And when we set everything up the right way and showed them how to minimize their tax burden, they were able to save over $400,000 projected over the course of their lifetime.
Really?
So $400,000 more in their pocket instead of having to fork that over to Uncle Sam. So that is what we were able to do. We were able to show them, hey, keep this money in your investments, keep it in your portfolio, or you know what, spend it. You save the money.
Yeah.
Do what you want with this money.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is what you have saved for, is to enjoy it in retirement. And the difference was, by saving this money in taxes, by having the investments, getting a better rate of return, instead of the $100,000 of income that he's currently living on every year, they could live on $120,000 of income every year projected over the course of their retirement. So an extra $20,000 more each and every year over the course of their retirement. And he's like, well, I don't really have any ideas for what I could do with that $20,000.
I bet it'll come to him.
Well, I'm sure you'll be able to figure something out. If not, I'm sure your wife will.
I know Heather was thinking about it.
I got lots of plans. Tell him to give me a call.
Yep. It's like, well, now you have it. Now you know that you can spend it. So, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
You've had these goals. Maybe you haven't thought about, maybe you've been retired 5 years. Maybe you've been retired 10 years. Maybe you haven't retired yet. And you don't know exactly what you want to do in your retirement or what you want to, make that retirement look like. And we want to be able to show you, hey, think about it. Think about what is important to you. What is the legacy you want to leave? Maybe it's not a financial legacy. Maybe it's just what you want to leave here on this earth as people remember you by, you know? So think about how you want to spend that money. Think about how you want to live out your retirement. And that is what we're going to be able to make happen for you. So if you don't know how much income you can live on for the rest of your life, there's a chance that you could be living on $20,000 more income per year if you're like this couple mentioned in this story. Maybe that number's less for you. Maybe it's more, but wouldn't it be nice to know what that number is? You know, if you want to find out how much income you can live on, if you want to learn what are the strategies you can do to de-risk your portfolio or lower your tax burden, you need to go to abetterwayfinancial.com and click on the sign up now button so we can begin to have this conversation with you.
We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there or again, find us anytime at abetterwayfinancial.com.
Thanks for listening to A Better Way Financial, the podcast with Frank and Frankie Guida. To learn more, visit abetterwayfinancial.com and join the Guidas for the radio show, A Better Way Financial, Saturdays at noon and Sundays at 12:30 on News Radio 790 WAEB.
By contacting us, we'll review aspects of your retirement portfolio to include suggestions about how best to utilize estate, tax, and retirement planning strategies and other financial services, or if changing management styles is appropriate for your specific needs and objectives. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendations to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate, and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. A Better Way Financial is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any client experiences discussed during this show are unique to that client, and they are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Advisory services offered through A Better Way Financial. Insurance offered through licensed professionals at A Better Way Financial. Pennsylvania Insurance License number 301779.